Stage 12 of the Dakar sees Jean-Louis Schlesser back on top of the timing sheets, but only with a little help from his friends. Whilst in the motorcycles, it was the hardest day that some of the professionals had ever done. No time to enjoy the views on the Dakar yesterday as everybody approached the Atlantic port town of Nouakchott. Even the camels looked disinterested. Mauritania at its best. Now here we see motorcycle number 39, Frenchman Eric Rosselet, going through one of the very quiet villages and eventually, unfortunately for him, stopping. Another motorcycle stops to say if he can help. And Eric's replying, well, it's not an oil problem, but maybe a clutch problem or something similar. Gloves off and working on the bike. He says that since day one he's had problems. The tyres in Morocco, the carburation broke the other day, and now it continues. I don't know what it is. Another rider stops to see if he can help. And Eric asks, have you got an 8mm socket spanner? Because I think I might have an engine gone. The other rider duly obliges as the rest of the field speed through. He's having trouble getting the nut undone. Today is the end. Maybe I go back home. He flags down Frédéric Moncassin, the former Tour de France yellow jersey holder. I think I've broken the engine, but if I get to the finish on the back of a truck, will I be kicked out? Frédéric answers, no, just penalties, just as if you had missed a control point. Do it! So now, with another problem on his hands, he manages to speak French with one of the locals. He says, I need to get to Nouakchott. Shows him the map. Anybody available? And the local says, yeah, well, I'll have a go. But quickly, says Eric. The locals converse amongst themselves. And then you've just got to barter. How much will it be? There's 60,000 in local currency. Now that's approximately $300 US, which is about 170 pounds.
1760 balles, le rapport est trop cher.
Oh, too expensive.
Trop cher.
Just like Monty Python, you got to barter. Okay then, this local says we'll go and find a car. But once more, Eric says, hurry up.
C'est très bien. Qu'est-ce que vous avez donné est insuffisant. D'après les calculs. Achète la voiture. Regarde, là, il vide. Pêche-toi. Non, il est parti pour l'amener.
Whilst they're waiting for the car, everybody then offers Eric some tea or some coffee, black or even white coffee.
Non, pas de thé. Hein? Café. Non, café noir, café lait. Faut que je sois avant 6h à Nouakchott.
I have to be at Nouakchott by 6 this
avant
evening.
6h.
But then the worst sight of all for a Dakar competitor, the broom wagon arrives. This is the truck that collects anybody who has broken down. Okay, okay, says Eric. It looks as if it's finished. I'll come with you. It's over. I'm terribly disappointed, and I've got tears in my eyes. And once his machine has been loaded onto the back of the truck, he jumps in too, and he is going to Nouakchott, not under his own steam. His rally is over. But then, just after the broom wagon has disappeared, Coventry's finest arrives, a Land Rover, the transport that the locals had arranged. But it's all too late. One of the longest stages of the Dakar, Nouakchott to Djika in Mauritania, from the port of Nouakchott further inland. And with the massive landmass of Africa being what it is, the temperature will be rising. 580 kilometers. Now the day started in unusual circumstances, with all sorts of currencies being put down on the table, as we have Jordi Arcarons in an arm wrestle with Fabrizio Mioni. Well, I reckon that a KTM won that battle. The dunes were certainly to play a major part of the day's action, and likewise the wind that had got up. Problems immediately for the first three motorcycles on the road. Mioni, Arcarons and South Africa's Alfie Cox, realising that this hanging valley had no way out except to go along the ridge, or maybe even back down. Jordi Arcarons taking his own route, and this is extreme skiing of another kind. Fabrizio Mioni and Jordi Arcarons teaming up though. And the pair of them doing well, with Mioni navigating a little better than Arcarons, although Mioni, being a lot bigger, got stuck in the sand a couple of times. Here we are on board with Patrick Sirijol. He says today it'll be a long day, and I think that we will get over a lot of sand, but we'll have to manage our fuel consumption. Now everything's good, and I take everything in my stride. It's a pleasure, but I will manage any difficulties just one by one. This morning I started ready to attack. The winner of the stage yesterday, Sweden's PG Lundmark on his production KTM, was not going as quick in the right direction today. Lundmark going off on his own compass bearing regularly, according to the other riders. Here you can see he's absolutely lost. However, Alfie Cox did come over a dune to find Lundmark in the middle of the dunes, completely knocked out, visor knocked off, blooded his nose, and Lundmark losing a little bit of time today. He ended up over an hour and 50 slower. Problems for Kari Tienen, another Scandinavian, but this time it was terminal. His engine had seized, he was out of the rally. Shame for Tienen, because he was going like a train up until that point. His teammate Sala likewise had fuel problems, But Carlos de Gavado, he got fuel in the air filter at one of the refueling points, and then the massive sandstorm came that precluded a lot of people's progress. Cyril Desprez, he was in the lead until about 30 kilometers before the end of the 580 kilometer stage, but then the Frenchman fell twice in quick succession. Alfie Cox saying that this stage really sorted the men from the boys, and he expected to see a lot of the privateers not starting tomorrow morning. At the refueling during the sandstorm, he said he could barely get the nozzle in the tank. It was that bad. Esteve Puyol eventually was in 6th position behind Cox. John Deacon likewise reporting that the sandstorm, you couldn't even see the roebuck in front of your face. And for America's Jimmy Lewis, recovering slowly but surely with his injured left wrist. He had a safe day and got through the stage in 8th place, just half an hour back. Brucey on the Works KTM, he was in 9th, but Archerons was the victor. Johnny Campbell, the other American, again for the second day in succession, was the leading Honda in 11th. Archerons eventually won the stage, but only by a minute ahead of Mioni. De Gavado 3rd, Desprez on the leading BMW now in 4th, and Alfie Cox 5th. Mioni continues to lead overall from Archerons, De Gavado 3rd, Puyol and Cox.